Have you ever wondered why some classic cars are worth thousands of dollars while others rot in junkyards? This is the last Volkswagen Beetle ever made. Serial number 21,529,464. Today it's worth $45,000. But here's what nobody tells you. Germany stopped making Beetles in 1978. Mexico kept going until 2003, 25 years longer. In the next 12 minutes, you'll discover exactly why this car is worth so much, how to identify which models are appreciating right now, and the secret that collectors and auction houses like Barrett-Jackson and Hagerty use to turn old cars into six-figure investments. If you've got a Beetle in your garage, or you're thinking about buying a classic ... this information could be worth a lot of money. Let's go. Here's what you're going to learn. First, why Germany stopped but Mexico continued. Second, how this Beetle became a $45,000 investment. Third, which models you should be looking for now. Based on data from Hagerty Valuation, Barrett-Jackson auction results, and 25 years of Mexican automotive history. And at the end, I'll show you why this pattern repeats in NINE other cars around the world. But first, let's go back to 1938. 1938. Ferdinand Porsche creates the people's car. Simple design, rear air-cooled engine. Cheap to produce. Post-war, it explodes globally. The 60s and 70s, Beetle dominates. Europe, America, South America. Think small, the most iconic ad campaign in advertising history. Counterculture, hippies, freedom. But there's a problem. The design is from 1938, hasn't changed. By the 70s, competitors are launching modern cars. Air conditioning, power steering, water-cooled engines. The Beetle? Still air-cooled. Still rear engine, OLD, 1974. Volkswagen launches the Golf, front engine, water-cooled, front-wheel drive. Hatchback practicality, modern. This is the Beetle's replacement. And VW makes a decision. Germany stops Beetle production. January 19th, 1978. The last German-built Beetle rolls off the line in Emden. Workers are crying. This car defined a generation. Champagne pops. Speeches are given. The final Beetle is driven onto a ship. Destination, Volkswagen Museum. And for Germany, that's it. The Beetle is history. 40+ years of production. Done. Except ... it wasn't done. Not even close, because 5,000 miles away in Puebla, Mexico, the Beetle was just getting started. Mexico started building Beetles in 1964. Puebla, Mexico. Volkswagen to Mexico. And unlike Germany, Mexico loved the Beetle. Not just loved, obsessed. In Mexico, the Beetle had a nickname, El Vacho. And in Mexico City, the Vacho dominated. In the 80s and 90s, Mexico City had over 50,000 Beetle taxis. 50,000! You couldn't walk a block without seeing one. Green and white. Unmistakable. For Mexicans, the Vacho wasn't just a car. It was family. Your grandfather's Vacho became your father's Vacho, became your Vacho. Simple to fix. Cheap parts everywhere. Any mechanic could work on it. And when Germany stopped making them in 1978, Mexico said, "We'll keep going." Because for Mexico, the Beetle wasn't OLD technology. It was perfect technology. For Mexican roads full of potholes ... For Mexican mechanics who learned on these. For Mexican families who couldn't afford anything else, the Beetle worked. So while Germany moved on to Golfs and Jettas ... Mexico kept building. 1980s, 1990s, into the 2000s. The same 1938 design, barely changed. Still selling. But by the year 2000, Even in Mexico, the Beatles' days were numbered. Mexico City was modernizing. New environmental laws. The Beatles' air-cooled engine couldn't meet new emission standards, safety regulations tightening. The Beetle had no airbags, no crumple zones, no ABS. 1930s engineering. In a 21st century world. 2003. Volkswagen announces Beetle production will end, for real this time. July 30th, 2003 will be the final day. Pueblo factory workers who spent careers building VOCHOS ... prepare for the last one. Serial number 21,529,464. Aquarius Blue, hardtop. Manual transmission. The last original Beetle. Ever. And here's what's crazy. Nobody knew if this mattered to anyone outside Mexico. Would the world care? Turns out, the world cared a lot. July 30th, 2003, the ceremony happens. Media from around the world. Workers surrounding the final Beetle, cameras flashing. Emotional faces. 3:05 p.m., the last Beetle rolls off the assembly line. Workers crying, champagne, speeches. It's not just a car. It's 65 years of history. It's grandparents, parents, children, entire generations, connected by this 1938 design. That final Blue Beetle, VW ships it to Germany. Wolfsburg Museum, where it all began ... is where it ends. Full circle. Beautiful story, right? But here's what nobody expected. The market woke up. Barrett Jackson 2023, a 2003 Ultima Edition Beetle low miles. Sold $38,500. RM Sotheby's 2022, final year Mexico Beetle, original unrestored. Sold $42,000. These aren't $5,000 used cars anymore. These are collectibles. And Hagerty, the biggest name in classic car insurance and valuation, added Mexico Beetles to their classic car price guide. Their rating? Investment grade collectible. Not just a nostalgic old car, an investment. Why? Think about it. This is the last of a 69-year production run. The last air-cooled Beetle. The last original Beetle design. Ferdinand Porsche's Ijo Sanli S Vision. Made until 2003. That's insane. And collectors recognize that. Classic car insurance companies, Hagerty, Grundy, American Collectors Insurance, now offer agreed value policies for these. Meaning, you and the insurance company agree the car is worth $40,000. And if something happens, they pay $40,000. No depreciation. Restoration shops seeing demand. People want original examples. Numbers matching Vang and engine. Original paint if possible. Concours condition. And here's the kicker. These cars are easy to maintain. Parts everywhere. Any VW mechanic can work on them. You're not buying a finicky Italian exotic. You're buying a Beetle. Simple, reliable, iconic. That happens to be the last one ever made. So when people ask, why are 2003 Beetles selling for $40,000? The answer is simple. History, scarcity, and the end of an era. Today, if you walk the streets of Mexico City, you'll still see Vacos, not many. But they're there, survivors, driven daily by people who refuse to let them go. The Pueblo factory? Still making Volkswagens, just not Beetles. And that final Beetle, serial number 21,529,464, still sits in Wolfsburg, a reminder of what this car meant. Not just to Germany, not just to Mexico, but to the world. 69 years of production, 21.5 million Beetles built. The most successful single automotive platform in history. Germany gave it life in 1938. Mexico kept it alive until 2003. 25 years longer than anyone expected. And that's why this car. The last Beetle ... matters. But this is just the first story. Next video. India. 1956, the British create the Morris Oxford. India starts making it as the Hindustan ambassador. The UK stops in 1971. India keeps making ... the exact same car ... until 2014, 58 years. Zero changes. The same car Indian prime ministers drove in the 60s. You could buy new in 2014, identical. And if you thought this story was crazy ... go back one episode. Brazil also kept the Beetle alive beyond Germany. The story of the Brazilian Fusca that became legend. If you missed it, it's right there. This is the series, Cars That Refuse to Die. 10 countries, 10 cars that should have died, but continued decades beyond expectation. And each one became gold for collectors. Next episode, India. Hit play. Ferdinand Porsche, German automotive engineer who designed the original Volkswagen Beetle in 1938, creating the people's car that would become the most successful single automotive platform in history. German factory workers, 1978, emotional Volkswagen employees in Emden, Germany who cried during the final Beetle ceremony on January 19, 1978, marking the end of 40 years of German production. Mexican factory workers, Pueblo dedicated Volkswagen to Mexico. Employees who spent entire careers building Vacos from 1964 to 2003, maintaining the Beetle's legacy for 25 years after Germany stopped. Mexican taxi drivers, working-class heroes of Mexico City who drove over 50,000 green and white Beetle taxis throughout the 1980s-90s, making the Vacho an iconic symbol of Mexican urban life. Mexican families, generational owners, multi-generational Beetle owners whose grandfathers, fathers, and children all drove the same model Vacho, passing down automotive tradition and mechanical knowledge through decades. VW executives, 2003, corporate. Decision makers who announced the final end of Beetle production in 2003 due to environmental regulations and modern safety. Standards the 1930s design couldn't meet. Classic car collectors, modern. Investment-minded enthusiasts who recognize the historical significance of final year. Mexico Beetles, driving auction prices to $38,500, $42,000 at Barrett-Jackson and R.M. Sotheby's. Hybrid evaluators, professional classic car appraisers, and insurance specialists who officially rated 2003 Mexico Beetles as investment-grade collectibles, legitimizing their market value. Restoration shop mechanics, skilled craftsmen specializing in preserving original, numbers matching final year Beetles for Concours condition collectors willing to pay premium prices. Museum curators, Wolfsburg, Volkswagen heritage preservation professionals who maintain serial. #21,529,464. The final Beetle ever made in the Wolfsburg Museum, bringing the car's journey full circle back to Germany.